Right now at 5, a key prosecution witness on the stand today in Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial. Former White House Communications Director Hicks was one of Trump's most trusted aides.
She's already been brought up by several other witnesses and is being questioned on her knowledge of the deal involving Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen. Let's bring in Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, who's been following this case all day.
All right, let's talk about Hicks. She started tearing up as she was giving her testimony today. They took a short break. How does this play on both sides?
Emotions are good. If you have an emotional person, they can make a connection with the jury. It just really depends. I mean, if you look at the Murdaugh case in South Carolina, those tears really didn't work. Hicks, I think, showed that this is a person I had a connection with, and I'm really not here because I want to be here. You got me talking about things I don't want to talk about, so it may help both sides, but it gives her a human being side that the jury can see.
She also stated that Michael Cohen wasn't a part of the campaign. He wasn't up to snuff on all the day-to-day operations, but often tried to kind of insert himself, often doing things that maybe wasn't approved by the Trump team. How do you think this played for the defense?
Would she say that, yeah, he's the fixer? Why? Because you were breaking most of the things in the background. That's the reason that you had to call yourself mixer-fixer. I think that it plays for both sides. The one portion is trying to say that this wasn't under the direction of the president. The things he was doing was on his own. But on the other side, it can say that, listen, he was involved. He'll have intimate knowledge because even if he was inserting himself, he was there. So it was a win for both sides, and that's all you want when you're in trial.
I mean, when you think of a fixer, what comes to my mind is Olivia Pope. You know, like when you just think about what a fixer does and how you make decisions on your own. How does that play with this case, though, in terms of what Trump knew, what he didn't know, or what he didn't know about what his actions that were being taken by Cohen?
I think it puts him exactly what he is. I mean, he wasn't doing a lot of courtroom things. He was someone that was behind the scenes, that could get jobs done, that could communicate in dirty places that the former president didn't want to have to go, and then he could step aside and say, hey, I got it done for you. That made him valuable. Everyone is trying to show their value add to a company or to an individual when they hire you. Most of the time, if you're hiring someone as your attorney, you want them to either represent you in a case or to stop you from going to court. In his capacity, he just made sure things disappeared.
But my thing is, in terms of this being Trump's trial and him not knowing or saying he doesn't know certain things that he's doing, how does that play in terms of the defense?
I don't think it plays at all. I mean, Cohen was the fixer, so you won't be able to say you didn't know what was going on if I got text messages and communications or audio tapes hearing you talk about the very communications that I was fixing.
Right. Wow.
Khalif, thanks for breaking that down for us.